because you have
Definitely.
classic cinema lines, right? You got, Rosebud and, Scarlet. Frankly, I don't give a damn, right? You have all
Stella!
that. Stella, right? But none of that compares to Wakey Wakey, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
Wakey, wakey, you fat fuck!
Hard Target is a martial arts action film released August 20th, 1993. It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lance Henriksen, Yancey Butler, Arnold Vosloo, and Wilford Brimley. It is written by Chuck Ferrer and directed by action master John Woo. This marks the first English language film for Woo. With Woo's limited English, Universal Pictures hired Sam Raimi to oversee the entire shoot. It had a budget of $18 million and has gone on to gross approximately $75 million. The Big Easy turns bloody on this episode of I Love This Movie. I am joined by a new guest, a new face to the channel, someone who I have guested on their channel several times, and I'm so happy to finally have him on the channel. We have got That Fat Samurai Guy.
What is going on, Lindsay? What is crack-a-lackin'?
I am so excited to get you on the channel, and especially to talk about a movie that we both love.
It's I don't want to jump the gun here.
Oh no.
But it's one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Oh, it's incredible. It's got everything you want, and we will get into that. But first, when did you first get introduced to Hard Targets?
Well, Samurai Guy growing up was deprived in terms of seeing the violent R-rated, close your eyes when somebody's kissing and I gotta fake it, you know what I mean? Movies growing up. So a lot of my adventures with cinema with a little young samurai was in front of the television.
Oh yeah.
And I was a Van Damme fan by then. My sister actually took me to go see Kickboxer, which was one of the greatest movie-going theater experiences with a packed crowd ever. But yeah, she kind of got me into Van Damme, and me and my dad enjoyed Van Damme too, Lionheart, Bloodsport, all that stuff. But when Hard Target came on, I was on the telly, it was edited. All that horrible stuff, right?
Of course.
But hey, that's the only way we could watch movies back then, right?
Exactly.
But I was blown away. I was just like, this is the fucking shit,
Right?
And then as I got older, I rented it on VHS and all that, and bought it on DVD, bought it on Blu-ray.
Yep.
And god damn it, I'm gonna buy the damn 4K.
Exactly. Well. Special edition steelbook.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience. I did not see this in the theater. I mean, I saw rated R movies all the time as a kid, mostly on TV or when we got the free weekend of HBO sometimes. But my first experience with this movie was renting it on VHS because I was a huge Van Damme fan, love Van Damme, Lionheart, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Death Warrant, all those awesome movies. And Hard Target is probably one of my favorite Van Damme movies because I think he's at his most Van Damme.
Yes.
In this movie, there's a lot of Van Dammage going on in this.
Top 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's
definitely
easy for his list. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. and also the supporting cast. I love Lance Henriksen, Arnold Vosloo, Wilford Brimley as Cajun Grandpa. You can't get much better than that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sometime I made myself.
Oh, by the way, it's funny because I told Lady Fat Blood, shout out to Lady Fat Blood. I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to hang out with Lindsay. We're going to talk about Hard Target. She was like, oh, great. Because, she loves Hard Target too. And, I told her that some people that didn't really like it that much. Right. And it's fine. It's subjective. Yeah. Right. And I told her that. And she goes, I want you to share this message with Lindsay. I want you to share this message with my sister, Lindsay. Any movie that puts Lance Henriksen and teams him up with Arnold Vosloo in a badass, awesome way.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever watches that and doesn't like it, we can't be friends.
No. And their thing was that it was too much. And I'm like, I want it all. Just keep giving it to me more and more and more.
That's the point. That is the point. Yes. Yes, more slow motion, more doves.
Yes,
more bullets, blood. That's the point.
That is the point of this movie. Yes, And being a John Woo fan, and this being his first English language film, I think he knocked it out of the park. And they were worried, his English wasn't that great, so they had Sam Raimi there to kind of keep an eye on things. And there's some Sam Raimi stuff in this movie, and we'll get to it. But would you like to tell us the plot of Hard Target?
Sure. I think it was Yancey Butler. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Witchblade herself, if anybody remembers that show.
Herself, yes.
Yeah, if anyone remembers that show. She lost contact with her father. It's been years, and he's a veteran, he's a military vet. And she had absolutely no idea that he's been living on the streets. He's homeless, but she's lost contact with him. So she teams up with Van Damme. He's down in the dumps too. Like
he's just a drifter.
Yeah, pretty much. He just wants that job on that ship. He's desperate for for work. So he ends up teaming up with her, and man, they find out later it's not. Well, unfortunately, her father does not make it.
No, he does not.
But what they get into later is a whole a group of, what do you call that? Highly rich, aristocratic group of people,
clandestine rich people organizations.
Pay that money to go hunting. Fun fact, Surviving the Game with Ice-T came out the same year.
Awesome. Another awesome movie. Movie. And both of them heavily influenced by The Most Dangerous Game.
Right.
Yes, where we hunt people down. Yes, Lance Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo. Arnold Vosloo is kind of like his henchman, like his go-to guy, his muscle, his intimidation factor.
Yeah.
I come back, I cut me a steak.
Yes, Randall, I come back here, I cut me a steak. Oh, great. I mean, the dialogue is excessive and over the top, which is what we want, which is the point of the movie. Because you have classic cinema lines, right? You got Rosebud and Scarlet, frankly, I don't give a damn, right? You have all that, Stella, right? But none of that compares to Wakey Wakey, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
Wakey Wakey, you fat fuck.
Which is just like the way Arnold delivers that line is just like,
it's so good. It's perfection. Yes, and they've set up shop. This is not their home base, but they've set up shop for a while in New Orleans because right now the police force is on strike. So they're able to get away with a lot more, and there's some corruption going on, so they've got some judges in their pocket. They've got the medical examiner in their pocket. So they're able to set up these hunts for rich people, and their prey is these homeless veterans that don't have any familial connections. They are completely alone, so there's no one to come asking questions. But Randall made a mistake, and Yancey Butler's character's father had a family member, and she's sniffing around now with Jean-Claude Van Damme and making trouble.
Making trouble.
And the way that we're introduced to Van Damme, I mean, he has about 3 character introductions in this movie.
Yeah.
And the first time we see him, he's sitting at a greasy spoon diner, chowing down on some watery gumbo.
Yeah.
That he can barely afford.
A lot of Western vibes throughout this movie too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, a lot of Western vibes. Even when he goes outside to save Yancey for getting jumped by some thugs, which is a great fight scene.
It's one of my arm breakings. One of my favorite arm breaks in any action movie.
You notice, almost like a Western, he puts his coat back like that, like he's gonna draw.
Yep.
But instead of drawing the gun, he draw them Van Damme kicks.
Yes, he got them high kicks. And that's how we're introduced to him, and it's just by happenstance because she's taking out money to get cash for the phone, and people are seeing how much money she has. She doesn't realize she's in Nolans now.
Nolans.
She needs to be a little more careful with everything going on. And so these ruffians try to rob her, and of course Van Damme, he's the sailor with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Intervenes, and that's how those two hook up.
Yes. And what a badass fight that was. That's how you introduce your hero.
That is how you introduce your hero. Show him just shoving people into the little horse statue thing face first. Shoving people through plate glass windows.
Just all kinds of stuff. One of them tries to do a little martial arts sweep on him, but that didn't work.
Doesn't work very well.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff, and a lot of slow motion of him walking away, looking looking pretty.
Looking pretty with his greasy hair.
I think on IMDb that the photo of him is from Hard Target.
He's got it's like a Jerry curl mullet.
Yeah. The earring.
And the earring, yes.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced to our villains. We've got Lance Henriksen, who is we talked about Lance Henriksen the last time we collaborated, where he played a good guy. He was the action hero in Savage Dawn.
It was interesting.
It was very interesting. And what do you think about his character, Fushan?
It's just he's just perfect.
Careless is what you are, Randall. Careless and stupid, and now you're sorry too.
Like, I love how they introduce him at certain parts where he's just playing the piano all in an evil manner.
Oh yeah, he's a bad guy with culture.
Yeah. I love the scene transitions too. You have him playing the piano in an evil way. And at the same time, we get a new, homeless guy being recruited for work. Little does he know, he's getting recruited to get hunted. And just Lance is perfect, man. I have to ask this question. Has he ever played Satan? He has to have had.
I don't know that he's played like actual Satan. He may have. I mean, I think the closest that he came, and I mean, in Pit and the Pendulum, he played Takamata.
Okay. Because
it's a religious figure, but a very evil religious figure. But I don't know if he's played Satan. I'll have to look into that.
He might have, but if just watching him in this movie, I'm like, it's Satan.
He is. Well, he's so reserved. I mean, he has his moments when he has his outbursts.
Hey, hold it! Boudreaux is the target we're after. You are a fucking buffalo.
But it's a very reserved, menacing performance. And he's got that intensity in his face where even if he's not saying anything,
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of
I was like, is he having back problems?
He's just straining from the neck. You can see the veins,
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
And then we get Arnold Vosloo, and this is pre-Mummy Arnold Vosloo.
Is this before Darkman 2 and 3?
Might be around the same time as Darkman 2.
Okay. Yeah, he's amazing in this too. He's so good. I'm a professional. He always says that in the movie,
I'm a professional.
Right? Yeah. It's Mummy was a huge hit. That was a huge hit, huge franchise. But I always thought, Arnold deserved a little bit more. Like really needed. He's such a good actor.
Oh yeah, and he has very little dialogue in the Mummy movies.
Yeah, I always wished he was, kind of given bigger, better roles than just being the Mummy. But he's fantastic in this. Oh my God, shotgun blast to the dome on poor Van Cleef.
Oh man, after he cuts his ear off.
Was his name Van Cleef?
Yeah.
The chunky, the
Or no,
fat
no, no,
fuck.
no,
No.
no, that was a different guy.
Okay.
No, his
Okay.
name was Randall. I don't remember what
That's
he
right.
said
That's
his
right.
last name was.
Randall Fat Fuck.
Randall Fat Fuck. That was his name. And he's just this just grubby, seedy guy who, you know, works in porn shops and
Yeah.
has the homeless guys, pays them to pass out porn flyers and sex, phone sex stuff.
While getting their information,
Well,
you know.
Oh yeah.
Setting them
So
up.
he's
He
got
makes
his face in
Randall
everything.
makes me feel handsome. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not that bad looking. All right.
He's very sweaty and he's always smoking a cigar and
Yeah.
he's very stubbly and unkempt. But that actor did a very good job in that performance. Just kind of a whiny, sniveling type of bad guy. And you need those in action movies.
Who gets fucked up bad.
Who gets really fucked up.
I remember the trailers for Hard Target, and they had "Born on the Bayou" in the trailers, and I remember that last shot where, you know, after he shoots Randall, he cocks the shotgun and the shell flips out in slow motion. Oh, that's how the trailer ended.
Hard Target.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Where is shit like this now in mainstream
action movies.
mainstream Hollywood releases? It doesn't exist.
I think we need a resurgence of the 80s action movie.
We do. That's right.
Well, and this thing got sent back to the MPAA like 7 times before it got its R rating. So I mean, there's stuff that got cut out because it was so violent. And I'm like, I want to see that shit.
Yes. And I think the closest thing to that, see, here's the thing is, I watched it so much on TV, I remember it. And then I watched it on VHS, the theatrical version.
Yeah.
So I had a really good memory of it. And then I bought like this Van Damme 5-pack, like some foreign release kind of thing. And it came with Hard Target. And I watched it and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? And the body count is there's a little bit more body count, but there's a lot more John Woo style gun unloading in the villain, you know, in the bad guys, you know what I mean? So instead of you watch the theatrical version, Van Damme does a kick and then he goes ba ba and he leaves. This version, it's kick ba 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 ba, right? And I was like, holy shit, this is like crazy. But I believe the 4K that's released now by Kino Lorber has the unrated version on it.
Really?
Yes. And there's another do you remember Van Damme at the end doing like flipping up in the air like this, twisting upside down in the air and landing? Do you remember that? Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you remember.
I think so. Is that when well, I remember he jumps over the barrel.
Right.
He's got a couple of those.
Right, but this is like, obviously it's not him.
Yeah.
Because he jumps like this. He's upside down.
Oh, he does like a twist midair.
And then lands. It's even more insane.
Even more over the top.
Yeah.
And because I knew there was a second cut that has been released because like the John Woo cut was over 2 hours and had so much more stuff in it. But Van Damme and his editor had final cut. And they're like, this isn't a John Woo film. This is a Van Damme film. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a negative. We love the movie a lot. But that the director got kicked out of the editing room.
Right.
But, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
We're happy with the final result anyways. But it would have been interesting to see.
Right. We would have been more pissed off if the Van Damme cut was shit.
Yeah.
But since it's still awesome, it's fine.
It's still awesome. So, we've got our bad guys, and one of the homeless people is helping Van Damme and Butler find out some stuff, and he's the next one that is signed up to get hunted.
Yeah.
And this is insane because he doesn't know what's going to happen when he shows up. They're just like, here's a money belt. It's got $10,000 in it. You
Yeah.
make it to the river, it's yours. And they're like, go. And he sees people getting out of trucks with
Yeah.
weapons. And he's like, oh shit. And he
Yeah.
takes off.
If I don't make it? Oh, you're a sports fan, Roper. Figured it out.
Yeah.
And that whole sequence is incredible.
Oh yeah, just make it to the river. Just get to the river. You're scot-free, man.
That's all you gotta do.
But it's incredible, not just because of the chase and the suspense building, but the directing is so well done, especially when he gets to the part of the town where he's just, there's people, they're there. You think when you get to a town with a big crowd, you're safe, right?
Yeah.
And when you think it was safe, I mean, no, he's like, I need help me, you know, and everyone ignored him. It was kind of heartbreaking.
It is.
Please, help me, help me.
Go on, good job.
Please, please.
And he just stood there. He was just like,
He's
fuck
like,
it. Fuck it. Just
bring
shoot
it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great scene because he's going up to everyone and everyone thinks he's just a homeless guy begging for a change. Because Ted Raimi has a cameo in this.
Yeah.
I ain't got no change, man.
I ain't got no change, man.
Brother, help me, man. Come on, get up. Hey, come on, man. Hey, man. I ain't got no change, man.
Oh my God, I was dying laughing. Oh, when I saw that, I was rolling. But I did cheer when he actually fucked up a few dudes, though.
Oh yeah, because he gets the guy who paid the money.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
because the guy like didn't want to finish him off.
You know why you're here? He paid us $500,000 to find out if you're alive or dead. Now finish him.
He got
Yeah.
cold feet or what? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm good, I'm done. I should because they're doing this for rich billionaires who have, you know, just want to feel like a man or something. They think they can find some kind of manhood by killing a human being. Like they have all this money, so nothing satisfies them anymore. So they have to do bigger and bigger things. And this hunt is one of them. It's kind of the same principle with like the Hostel movies. You have the rich guys paying to torture the teenagers type of thing. And Fushan and Arnold Vosloo, they just move around wherever they can get away with stuff. Like they said they were in Brazil and they want to go to Eastern Europe. They're like, we can work there for years.
Right.
And we'll be fine.
Yeah. They got to keep moving. They don't want to get caught. But yeah, the homeless guy actually getting one, you know, and killing that dude. That was great. But what a scene. What a scene.
It's great because they go through and a lot of iconic New Orleans set pieces, because we've got the French Quarter where he interacts with all the people. They've got the graveyards, which are so iconic to New Orleans, those above ground crypts. And then at the end we have the Mardi Gras graveyard.
Mardi Gras graveyard.
It's got to be one of the best in finale action shootout set design locations. It's just, I've never seen anything like that, and visually it's just crazy, man. The Mardi Gras
graveyard.
Excuse me. Cut. The Mardi Gras graveyard.
Mardi Gras graveyard
Is just, dude, no other movie has this.
No. I mean, you have warehouses with like boxes or really nice cars or something like that, but nothing this dynamic where there's so many places to hide and just cool, weird faces, and it makes it look creepy and dark and just so run down.
Speaking of that, in the other cut that I saw of the movie, you know, the classic line, you know, how does it feel to be haunted? And he goes, you tell me. Right. Well, in the other cut that I saw, you hear that, but you don't see them say that.
Oh,
they
really?
cut to deformed, burnt up Mardi Gras images.
Really?
Yeah, but you
That's
hear it.
sweet.
Yeah, it's like a totally different type of cut. It's very interesting.
How does it feel to be hunted?
You tell me.
That's interesting. I need to track that down and get a hold of it because I haven't seen it. I've just been watching my VHS all these years.
Hey, it's all good. It's classic.
It is all good.
Did you feel bad when the female cop died?
Yes, and that's what I wanted to talk about next.
Okay.
Because
Black
she's
Gina Davis.
yes, I love her.
She's awesome.
She's really good in this.
Now you can act on it, Doctor, or you can file it. But if I have to get a court order for a formal inquest, I will.
Because she's one of the cops who's still trying to do her job.
Yeah.
Casey Lemons, is that her name?
She was in Candyman, right? I might be wrong.
Yes, I might have the wrong name too, but no, I think it's the same actress. Or they
she's
look
awesome.
Extremely similar.
Helen?
And she's trying to still do her job, but no one else is. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Excuse me.
She's
Yeah.
she's just trying to have a moment to herself, and she gets wrapped up in the father's missing persons case, and then they kind of go to her whenever they find evidence or find a new person to talk to, and they come across in her police car, Randall's just been shot in the face. And Arnold Vosloo's still there. There's still bad guys everywhere. And Yancey Butler just gets out because she's like, she has no situational awareness whatsoever in this film.
Yeah.
And yeah, the cop gets out and she tries her best. She does such a good job.
I think she took a few down.
She did.
Yeah,
Even
cool.
after she got shot a couple times, she was still trying to make a difference.
It would have been fun to see her at the end, helping shoot the bad guys. That would have been kind of fun, like a team up, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh, we just got to know her. Oh, she's dead. All right. Move on. More slow motion.
But then we get one of the best the best chase scene in the entire film, because we're in cars, we're in motorcycles, we jump on a train, we're on foot.
Phenomenal. When I was rewatching the movie a couple of months ago, you have the iconic scene where it's like it was playing chicken, John Woo Van Damme style in the 90s.
Yes.
So you got to be over the top. It's John Woo and Van Damme in their prime in the 90s.
Exactly.
They have no boring playing chicken scene. So Van Damme's on a bike driving towards the other vehicle. Then he decides to get up and stand on the bike surfing. Still shooting at. Are you still with me? Those of you who are watching this and have not seen this movie, he's still shooting. It's phenomenal. Hits it's a real stunt too. I mean, obviously it's not Van Damme with the impact, but props to the stuntmen in this movie. They're
amazing stunts. Amazing stunts.
Boom! Hits the bike. Stuntman flips and rolls over, lands, and then Van Damme takes out the vehicle from the back, blows it up, and then has time to go, yeah. You have time for that.
Before he starts running for his life again.
Yeah, in slow motion. Yeah.
In slow motion.
And I was just like, I turned to Lady Fat Blood because we were rewatching it, and I turned to her and I said, this is the greatest movie ever made.
And that whole sequence just goes off the rails, because it starts right there where they leave the cop after she's passed, and he leap kicks in the face the guy off the motorcycle. And then steals the motorcycle, gets Yancey Butler on the back, and they take off, and he's shooting while she's steering and all this stuff, and he's reloading magazines. And
phenomenal.
We're up the bar.
it's just crazy. And then when he does that stunt, they drive up an unfinished on-ramp or something, so there's nowhere else they can go. And so that's why he decides to do that. But the just the explosions that we get just from, I think it was a Bronco blowing up.
It's over the top. It's phenomenal.
Did they ever do that on Mythbusters? Try to get a car to explode by
I wouldn't be surprised.
like action movie style. I wonder if they ever did an episode of that, because they did a Jaws episode with like the oxygen tank. But I wonder if they ever did any action movie cliche stuff.
Oh, I'm sure they did. They probably had some fun with that. But I don't know. It's just like when you have Van Damme in his prime and John Woo in his prime, and it's the early 90s. Do you really want realism here? You know what I mean? It's like, come on. This is like peanut butter and jelly. Let's go.
Exactly.
Like, this is amazing. But I wanted to point out earlier that even though Chance, you know, what kind of a name?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about his name, Chance.
Yeah. My mama took one.
What kind of a name is Chance?
Well, my mama took one.
But I wanted to point out earlier that he actually, you know, Van Damme is like almost like God level in terms of in this movie, in terms of abilities and what he can do. He's like God tier, right? But he actually gets his ass kicked.
He does.
Earlier, to the point where I was like, dude, they could have killed him right there.
They could have killed him right there. He got very, very lucky. And that's something you don't see in a lot of action movies where, you know, the guy gets the shit kicked out of him, takes his lumps.
Me and you like to see that.
He got, what did he call it? Getting his ass kicked without a license?
What did you arrest me for? Getting beat up without a license?
Oh, man. But, yeah, it's just phenomenal action sequences, and then we're still going.
We're still going. We're still going.
Do you know the body count number for this?
I do
movie?
not.
Okay, all right. I'm sure it's insane.
Yeah,
but
it's got to be pretty big.
Now they're on the run. They're on the run now. What did you think of the helicopter Van Damme on horse chase sequence?
It looks, because obviously that's not him when they show him riding the horse, so it's a little awkward. I mean, I rode horses all growing up, and I'm like, that doesn't quite.
Billy
look
Ray
right.
Cyrus? Was that Billy Ray Cyrus? No, I'm just kidding.
A little bit. And I like the horse chase, but that shot just makes it not look. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look right.
It's gonna look worse in 4K. Like you're gonna clearly see the stuntman on there. But that it was an okay action sequence. It felt like filler though. That action
a little bit because we're just getting to that final set piece.
Yeah, he's trying to lead them. You know, he's leading them. So it's not like that scene wasn't necessary.
No.
But we were just spoiled earlier, man, by the bike chase and everything.
Well, then after they jump off this overpass that's not finished onto a train that's passing underneath.
Ladies first.
What?
And then they have to trek through the bayou.
Right.
where we get the infamous scene. Do you want to talk about that?
Again, you're not supposed to take these movies seriously. You're supposed to just have fun, get beer, popcorn, or whatever you're drinking, and enjoy the ride. Okay. So I actually like this sequence, even though it's obviously a fake snake. But I like this sequence because they set it up as it's supposed to be this romantic moment. You know, he wants to see if she's okay. She's leaning up against the tree, and he had that slow motion. He's leaning in toward her, and she's like looking at him like, "Oh man, he's gonna kiss me." No. Boom! Snatches the snake, and first there is a real snake at some point.
Yes, there is.
But Van Damme, because he's Van Damme, god damn it, right? Punches the snake and knocks it out. Knocks
a snake out.
Yeah.
And then he
Go
rips out the rattler because it's a water moccasin, I would think, a rattlesnake, you know, down there. Rips the rattler out with his teeth and then places the snake back as a trap for the guys that are tracking them. And it works really well.
Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That guy got fucked up.
In the face.
Another thing that I rewatching the movie a while back, I wanted to point out is there's several times throughout the movie where Pick, Arnold Vosloo's character is like, dude, we need to just leave.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's getting into with Van Damme, because even the first time he's like, let me handle this.
Right.
He's like, just send a couple of guys.
Maybe I should pay him a visit. No. Send a couple of lads down there to have a chat with him, won't you, Pick? Yeah.
It's like he knew from the beginning that this wasn't your average bear they were messing with.
Yeah. But I like that, because usually the villain's always gung-ho, like, we got him, but you have one smart guy, but like, boss?
Oh yeah.
Probably just pack up and roll out.
Right? Oh yeah. He's like Sonny Ladman in Predator. He's like, we're fucked, man. We're fucked.
We're all gonna die.
There's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. We're all gonna die.
Classic movie.
Gosh. Classic movie.
Oh yeah.
And what else haven't we talked about? Oh, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about Lance Henriksen's character, just the design, because we talked about that he's cultured, but I also wanted to talk about his weapon of choice.
Oh yeah. That pistol's badass.
Yeah, it's very specific, and and I like when villains have a weapon that's associated with them.
Yes.
It's
it gives
very
them
cool.
It gives their character.
Exactly, because he's not. He doesn't want a big machine gun. He doesn't want something.
Because everyone's spraying throughout the whole movie.
He wants a single shot revolver that'll blow your back off, essentially.
Hey. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Oh my god, it's so
But no,
good.
they're memorable villains. Always heighten your action movie.
Well,
you know
and
what I mean?
it's almost a borderline horror villain, because I mean, horror villains, they have their weapon, because Michael Myers, he's got the butcher knife, Freddy's got his claws, Jason's got the machete, and they use other weapons, but those are specifically tied with them. So it's very cool when you get an action villain that's got something like that.
Yeah, but how many times have we seen, even modern day action movies, how many times have we seen an action movie where we're there for the hero's awesome, the hero's badass, but there's such forgettable villains, antagonists, that you're just like, who was that? I don't even remember who the guy was.
Every once in a while we get some really, really good ones, but most of the time the villains are what's lacking.
Yes.
Because they're just not dynamic enough. They're not fleshed out enough. And they don't have to be super fleshed out. Just have these signifiers that are associated with them, just to give them that little extra something.
Yeah, like sudden death has Powers Booth. Now imagine if you didn't have Powers Booth.
Please, he needs a doctor. Not anymore.
Right?
And he had some generic dude. Like, it wouldn't
just
have worked.
some guy. No, you can't have anybody else. Just some guy. just some nameless, faceless guy.
Bob the Baker.
Bob the Baker.
He gets off his shift. We need you to play this villain. But before we talk about the amazing, over the top, outlandish, satisfying, scratches the fucking action itch, son. Before we get to the finale, was there anything else we missed?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, I love the him fighting the shotgun.
Oh, we haven't talked about Cajun Grandpa.
Yeah, there you go.
Oui. Sometime I made myself be.
Wilford Brimley. We need to talk about Wilford Brimley in this film because, again, this movie is awesome because it's a John Woo film. It's awesome because it's a Van Damme film, and it is awesome because of its supporting cast.
Yes.
And Wilford Brimley is pretty high on that supporting cast list as Cajun Grandpa.
Mm-hmm. And he's pretty high on that moonshine, too.
Yes, he is. His own special recipe. It'll kill the grass, man.
Here, drink. But do not spill. It killed the grass.
Oh.
And he has this outrageous Cajun accent.
To the point where it's just as over the top as the rest of the movie.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But it fits.
His accent's thicker than Van Damme's.
Yeah.
Most of the
And I love how everyone's got these, high artillery and, technical, weapons and all that. He's like, fuck it, I got the bow and arrow, son.
bow and arrow. And it serves him well. It serves him well.
Mon petit fou putain.
Yeah.
Yes, he plays Uncle Duvet, and they go out to his little spread, his little shack and barn. He's got his whole setup there out in the bayou to ask him for help.
Duvet, I've got some people after me.
I know. I can smell them.
They go there and they get patched up because they're a little beat up after the amazing chase, and he gets in his shotgun. Because he asked about another one, and he said a Gatorade it.
Yeah, Gatorade.
You still get a 30-06, the one I gave you for your birthday?
No. A Gatorade it. But, I still got your shotgun.
But I've never seen a shotgun like this.
No, it was beautiful. And John Woo was just perfect as, I'm going to show him, hold it, and then slowly blow the dust off.
The dust just sprinkles off, and there's the music accent with it.
Yeah, we forgot to mention the score. The soundtrack is very good too.
It is very good.
Yeah,
it is very good. It's a good action score, but we also get. It's almost like a thriller score at some point, especially when we're around Fushan and Arnold Vosloo.
I had James Kermack, director of the film Knuckle Dust, on my channel. We were talking, and there's a scene in the movie where one of the bad guys is going to his little armory, and he actually got the hard target shotgun in there just for the shot.
That's awesome.
Just for the shot. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was cool. See, there's fans out there. I think there's more fans of Hard Target now. I mean, the movie did well.
It did very well.
It did very well. But I think people appreciate it more now over the years.
I think so too.
There's a lot of YouTubers out there and people reviewing it. Even I will even give it to them for they're saying this is a good, bad movie, but they love it. I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take it because this film deserves respect.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And I think some people, because I mean, sometimes action fans are kind of in two camps. They either want like the martial arts, that kind of action film, or they like the guns and car chases, that kind of action film. So some of them could have been turned off to that it's not technically a martial arts movie, even though it's got Van Damme in it. But I think it comes together with both of those aspects very well. I think it's satisfying for both.
Yeah, and me and you are fans of both.
Exactly.
So we're right at home here.
We're right at home here.
But let's get into that finale, man.
Yes.
The only one negative about the finale is, and this is just nitpick, is it kind of seemed like Yancy Butler was just lost.
She was like just flopping around half the time, trying to figure out where the hell to go. No, she served very little purpose. She shot one guy. She did shoot one guy in the balls.
Yeah, in the balls.
You fucking bitch.
then he called her a bitch or something. He might have called her something worse.
That was rude.
Exactly. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Especially in a shootout. Come on.
I enjoyed her getting a few licks in, but it just Van Damme's flipping upside down like a gymnast.
Yeah.
Brimley is Ramboing on this side with the bow and arrow, and Yancy Butler's just her running around.
She has
she's with her head cut
total
off.
panic mode. Total panic.
Maybe we could have set that up a little better. Give her something to do. I don't know.
Well, she had to get taken at the end, like every female does at the end of these action movies. And he grabs an arrow and he's twisting it around her hair and like pointing it at her throat.
Yeah.
And so we get this standoff between Fouchon, Lance Henriksen, and Van Damme. Like, what are you gonna do? And I can't remember did he have the shotgun at that point? Because he's like, he can't shoot me, because if he does, he'll shoot you too. He's picked the wrong weapon.
If he shoots me, he'll kill you. He's picked the wrong tool for the job.
Job.
Yeah, he ends up just running.
That's right.
Because he uses the shotgun earlier after he flips over the flaming barrel.
Okay.
And then Lance gets hit, but he ends up grabbing the girl. But he just runs at him. Kind of one-sided, but it's
Van
Damme at God tier. So what are you gonna do, right?
I know Van Damme versus Lance Henriksen. Those fight odds are gonna be a little wonky.
Another little nitpick negative is you can clearly see the gel.
Yes, the fire gel.
The fire gel on Lance. But these are nitpicks. It's fine.
No, I mean they set Lance Henriksen on fire. So I mean I gotta give him that. He let himself get set on fire. So I'll take a little gel.
Son of a bitch, it's good. God damn it, I'm gonna blow his goddamn head off.
But what an amazing, badass, satisfying action finale. Just guns a-blazing. I remember when I was watching the movie on VHS and my brother-in-law walked in right during the finale.
Yeah.
And I remember, and this was like, I don't remember, late 90s, early 2000s, I don't remember. But he walks by and he goes, what is the body count on, on this movie?
I'll put it right here.
But he was like amazed, and of course I had a big old Joker smile, right? Proud
because we get so many just nameless, faceless henchmen for him to shoot and kick. One of my favorite kills in that last scene is right at the beginning when he kicks the gas can up at the motorcycle guy.
Yeah,
it just blows the whole back of the factory off right in front of the guys that are just arriving.
It's fucking. Where are you seeing that right now? Where? It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. It's
I
so
don't care
crazy.
if it's not realistic. It's awesome.
And this is where we get
your disbelief if you're having a blast.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You just strap in with this one and go for the ride.
And man, just explosions, bloods, bullets, everything, and just. I love how Van Damme had to throw in a roundhouse kick, even though it wasn't needed.
You do need that.
Guy like 10 times.
Yes, he did.
Roundhouse
yes, he did. Gotta get one in there. He doesn't do his splits in this movie.
No.
This is one of the few Van Damme movies where he doesn't get to do his iconic splits.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an outlier in that way.
Can you imagine him doing the splits and like just double gun barrel and shooting?
Of course.
Greatest movie ever made.
But we get some, and I wanted to point this out because another John, he did Face Off. I'm correct in saying, he
John
did
Woo,
Face Off.
John Woo did Face Off,
And we get some similar, like early, like some of the shots you saw in Face Off, especially when they're back to back against the wall.
Yeah.
before they come out and they see their reflections in the mirror. We get that same shot in this movie.
Oh well, plan B. Let's just kill each other.
Because I know you wouldn't want to hurt my feelings.
Yes.
Between Arnold Vosloo and Van Damme. And I just noticed that just rewatching it like maybe a year or two ago, I'm like, oh, his face, he did that in Face Off too. Because it's a very interesting shot.
They did it a little bit first in Hard Boiled, John Woo's Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
But I would say you're more correct with Hard Target inspiring the scene in Face Off more than Hard Boiled, because they actually had dialogue. They spoke to each other for a while, you know.
Yeah, while they're reloading and doing this and doing that. It's so good.
It's so good. Dialogue between hero and villain while they're reloading. Like, let's go. It's just, I'm getting, oh my God.
I've been looking all over for you.
You've been looking in the wrong places.
That's good.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hurt my feelings. Oh my God.
The way his line delivery was just, it was pitch perfect for the tone of this film, because it's so evil and it's just got this little hint of just he's a shit.
Yeah.
He's a shit.
Ooh.
And what a great death too.
Yes.
That was a badass death, man. Throwing a grenade at Van Damme. Van Damme jumps through the window. Explosion happens behind him.
Underneath the table.
Yo, have you guys watched this movie?
Come on, there's so
Watch this movie.
And that just points out the great camera work in this movie, because the camera's moving everywhere.
Yeah.
And the cuts are minimal with a lot of these stunts.
Yeah.
We get some longer than we usually would. We're not getting 40 cuts of Liam Neeson jumping over a fence.
Exactly.
In this movie. Not happening.
Yeah. It's just classic 90s, classic John Woo, classic Van Damme.
Yeah.
And, a lot of, pretty much people pick Bloodsport or Kickboxer as their number one Van Damme movie, and I'm not going to argue against that. Those are iconic, but I wouldn't fight against anyone that wants to pick Hard Target as their favorite Van Damme movie.
Same,
because it's an adrenaline rush, man. You have to take a breath when you're done. You're like, it's just so much fun, and just do all this carnage and murder and chaos. That's just big old Joker smile the whole time watching this,
exactly,
and that's the point.
It is. It is. It's an indulgence.
Yeah.
It's a big plate of beignets is what it is. Powdered sugar everywhere.
Yeah. And I hate to say this. I know this might give me some flack, but other iconic Hong Kong action directors came over here and they didn't have the same success.
No, they didn't.
And like as a guilty pleasure, Double Team's trash, but it's a guilty pleasure because it's bad. But Choi Hark did that and some other films, and a Knockoff Knockoff has its moments, and Ringo Lam has a different approach, and his Maximum Risk is a good movie. That's a good movie.
That's one I haven't seen in a while. I need to revisit that one.
Yeah, he that's actually a pretty legit like action thriller. But when you want to crank all that shit to 11, it's just nothing compares or even comes close to
Hard Target.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And I feel the same way. Just all the action and the stunts and the fight scenes, the fight choreography, the camera moving around, the different shots is one thing for me. And the other thing is you've got Lance Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo, just these great character actors playing really, really interesting characters. And just having both of those in the same movie, because a lot of times one is given more favor than the other, or one is lacking in some kind of aspect. And this film brings them both together really, really well. And that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, as do I. And probably one of the most hilarious villain deaths ever.
Yes.
That was just so funny.
That's a good thing to wrap up on is the death of Fushan Arnold or Lance Henriksen. And I don't think we've ever had a villain death that's that accepting or resigned to the fact that it's happening.
Just, oh my God. Trying to fix the grenade.
Yes, he's got the grenade, and his trick is to unscrew it so the spark doesn't ignite everything.
Yeah.
Well, he gets it done, and he holds it close enough so that the charge can cross over. And I'm like, just throw him. Something. Get rid of him. What are you doing? I'm gonna hold it like this.
Whoop.
Whoop. Damn right, whoop.
Oh, just phenomenal. Applause. You know,
God.
I would have lost my young samurai mind if I saw this in theater.
Oh
my jaw would have dropped.
I would love to see this. I'd love to see this in the theater right now.
Let's go. Yeah,
yes,
they re-release it. I'll do it.
Oh yeah, I've kept because we have an Alamo Draft House just an hour or so away, and I go down there a lot, and I've been keeping my eye out. Maybe I can send them some messages like, we need a Van Damme-a-thon.
Dude,
do something.
Do it.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Film yourself down there. Make a video of it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll do a vlog on that, definitely.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on Hard
Watch
Target?
the movie.
Yes,
watch
this movie and just enjoy it.
I think I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. We're talking about cinema, which is what we do. And he said that people today need to stop viewing films through today's eyes.
Oh yeah.
They need to put themselves back in the 90s and experience cinema that way, or the 80s.
Yes.
And just remember that's how things were. This, like, stop judging it, from today's eyes and comparing it to like today's movies. You can have fun with that if you'd like, but just enjoy the goddamn movie.
Exactly.
Enjoy the film for what it is and the genre it's trying to represent, and then you can critique it and do whatever you want later. But as much as I love the John Wick movies, that's my shit right there. And as much as I love that, people need to stop watching those movies and then shitting on shit from the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, because
stop it.
Even just the stunts that people have been able to perform and just the complexity of them and the work that goes into them.
Yeah.
And the science that goes into them is way different nowadays than it was back then.
And again, I love the Raid movies. I love Raid and Raid 2. They changed the game. I love those movies.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to go back and shit on the classic movies from the Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest era. If you do it like we do it, and watch movies like how we watch movies, guess what? You're going to enjoy yourself.
You're going to enjoy more movies. You definitely will. No, and it's just there. And also, just piggybacking on that point, these older movies are what came so that these other movies could be where they are. I mean, these were the predecessors. These guys made the footsteps to, make the path. So there needs to be a lot of respect there, I think.
That's right.
Hard Target, man. Respect your elders, definitely, because we're getting up there.
Lindsay, you look like you're 25. I don't want to hear it. That's right. Looking about 70 over here, But yeah, go out and watch it in 4K, enjoy yourselves. Watch it with a whole group of people. You guys can make fun of it while you're watching it and still have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
So it's a classic.
All right.
8+.
Yes. Samurai, where can people find you? Because they need to go find you.
You can find me on all the YouTube the Instagram all the social medias, all that good stuff. That Fat Samurai Guy. That's right. I'm easy to find. So find me there. A lot of fun stuff there.
Yes. Go give a sub, give a like, watch some of them. He's got some great fight breakdowns. I just participated in one. We broke down the Commando hotel fight between Schwarzenegger and Bill Duke. Great fist fight. Classic fist fight.
But yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, hopefully this is the first of many visits.
Oh yeah,
so
we'll do a lot more.
Definitely talk about all sorts of good action and some horror movies too. So because I need to get more horror on here for this little series. But thank you everyone for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us next time when we talk about some other movie we love on I Love This Movie.
And subscribe to Lindsay.